Hi guys, you'll be sitting your first written GCSE French papers very soon. I hope you're all feeling prepared for it. Your reading and listening exams in 2024 are on the 14th of May and will both be sat in the morning. First you'll do the listening paper and then immediately after you'll do the reading. I just want to say good luck to you guys and give you some last minute tips. Alors, you have 5 minutes to read through the paper before the audio starts. Make sure to read through the questions carefully and try to translate any words you might expect to hear. Don't just translate the exact words, but also words that are related. So for example, if one of the questions talks about food, don't just expect to hear la nourriture, but also maybe manger or l'alimentation. Also, listen to each recording in full before deciding on an answer, and always double check your answer. Make notes during the listening, but ensure that these are away from the answer box. Now, for reading, make time for the translation and manage your time well. It's easy to spend ages on one difficult question and then miss out on marks because you didn't have time to answer some easier questions. And make sure not to leave out any questions. Even if you have no idea what the answer is, then a logical guess might be right. And for a fill-in-the-blank question, think about what makes sense grammatically. You might be stuck between two words that you don't know the meaning of, but you can see that one is grammatically correct, and therefore that will be the right answer. Also remember, you can lift words and phrases from the text, but you can't lift entire paragraphs, so just be wary of that. Now, for both questions, you need to make sure you know the vocab, and if you want a link to Anki flashcards, just visit www.asrfrench.com. Now, be careful of negatives. I've got all the negatives listed below. For ne rien and ne personne, you might see it as rien ne and personne ne, which is unusual in terms of most negatives. So if that's first, it will just mean like nothing happens. So if we use the examples here, then we've got rien ne marche, nothing works. Personne ne m'aime, no one likes me. So that's just what that means if you see it. Alors, there are paper walkthroughs of both the reading and listening papers on this channel, and I would suggest having a look through them for a more in-depth video. Also, if you're not too sure about different grammatical things and how to spot them, there's a video detailing everything you need to know for every different aspect of every tense in the GCSE. So I'd have a look at that. Now, for the translation in the reading paper, just make sure it makes sense in English, and make sure you read through it to make sure you haven't missed any small words, especially negatives. Make sure you've completed all the key messages, so just read through it multiple times to make sure of that. Watch out for so-called false friends. So a good example of this is sensible. That does not mean sensitive. Sorry, that does not mean sensible. That means sensitive. Sensible is raisonnable. And yeah, just watch out for negatives. It can be really easy to forget that. So yeah, think about like, it's not just ne pas, it's ne rien, ne jamais, ne personne, ne plus. Okay, so let's do a past paper question just so you can see kind of what goes through my head when I do it. So in these kind of questions, usually, I've never seen it not happen, these will be kind of in the order in the text. So question 1 here will be kind of at the start of the text, and this one will be near the end of the text. So if we just have a read, James fait de l'escalade sans équipement. So he had permission to climb the tower, and here it says sans autorisation, and you can kind of see like autorisation, authorization, roughly the same word, and then sans means without, so he climbed it without authorization. So that is definitely false, because he clearly did not have permission to climb the tower. Now, question 2, he had to change his original plan. Now, he wanted to buy a ticket for climbing the tower to the second floor and then continue on the structure. And then it says that the number of tourists was too big an obstacle for the success of this project. So, yeah, he obviously did have to change his plan because he couldn't do it. So that's going to be true. Now, climbing the tower took more than an hour, so okay, so I think a lot of people might say true, because it mentions an hour. However, that's talking about him waiting an hour for doing the task, I guess, explore. Not sure about the exact translation, but that's a rough idea. And it doesn't really mention how long it takes him to climb the tower. So that's going to be not given, I think, or what does it say? Not in the text. NT. And then he will go back to the tower soon. Well, it says, il a promis de ne jamais, never s'approcher de tour. S'approcher de la tour. So he'll never kind of go back to the tower. So that is going to be false. And that's all for this video. So if you want any more GCSE resources, just visit www.astarfrench.com. So yeah, I hope you have a really good exam, and come back on results day to let me know what grade you get. Bonne chance!